Hey, what's going on everybody? I wanted to do a video about our propane appliances. We actually have 4 propane appliances that we use whenever we're off-gridding and we're not hooked up to shore power, and I'm going to kind of show you how that works. So right behind me, these are the outdoor vents. This is going to be for my refrigerator. I have a norcold fridge, and I had to actually buy this vent separately, and we cut a hole out of the side of the bus and put that vent here. And then this vent is going to be for my hot water heater. This is a propane tankless hot water heater made by Precision Temp, model number RV550. It works really well. We've had it for 2 years, and the customer service is really great as well. Let me go to the other side and I'll show you the other vents. Okay, so I'm on the other side of the bus. This is where my propane furnace is actually. If you can see it, there it is. Kind of looks like a little bell at the top. That is for a Dickinson propane furnace. It's the P12000. It's for a 40-foot boat, and it keeps us nice and toasty as long as it's not below about 35 degrees. If it's below 35 degrees, it just can't make it all the way to the back, but it works really well nonetheless. And let's go check out the inside. Okay, so now I'm in the kitchen. This is my norcold. It's the NAX841 model. It has a freezer and a bottom. It actually runs on electric or propane. Right now it's on propane, unless I'm plugged into shore power or on a generator I can plug it in, just to kind of save us on propane. I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like. So we just went shopping yesterday, so it's kind of full. And you don't want to pack these too tight because there is a lot of condensation that can form, and there's a little tray. Let me show you in the back, right back here, and it'll actually like fill with water from the drip and freeze, and so then we'll have water like running out on the floor over here, and if we're uneven it'll run to one side of the bus. But so we do have to keep that emptied because that will kind of cause a little bit of an issue. Here's the freezer. There is quite a bit of ice buildup that happens in these, so probably once every couple of months you're going to want to thaw out your fridge or your freezer. And just so you know too, these are our ice cube trays. We've upgraded since we've been living tiny. This year actually we upgraded these. They have a lid on it, so if it falls out, you don't get freaking, I have this crazy, look at that, ice, crazy. That was from my old ice container. So, and I have some popsicles that are stuck to the bottom of this. I have to thaw mine out. Don't judge me. All right. And then on this side of the kitchen, I actually have the 3-burner Atwood RV stove. It's a stove top and it's also an oven. And I actually did cook a turkey in this oven 2 years in a row. You do have to be careful when you're picking out your turkey to make sure it will fit in your oven. But you can kind of eyeball it, honestly. Just don't get the biggest one because it's not going to fit. Anyway, we like it a lot. We actually use the stove to make coffee in the morning. We don't use a coffee maker. Honestly, it pulls electricity, and propane's pretty cheap, and it doesn't really take a lot to heat up a boiling pot of water. So we use the stove quite a bit. Whenever I'm hooked up to shore power, I won't use the propane oven. I'll actually switch over to this toaster oven and plug it in and use it, because then I don't have to worry about filling my propane tank. So then next up is going to be my Dickinson propane furnace. That had the little bell on the top. So it comes right out the roof right here. It has flashing. They provide the flashing. We did have to order an extension on this flute. So I did have to wait for that. It's from Canada, so it took like a week or so to get to us. It's definitely not Amazon, but the customer service is really helpful, and it's a really great product. So it's the P12000. Basically, you just open it up like this. You unscrew it. And then what you'll do is you'll actually turn the gas on. You push and hold it. You put your lighter right there. It catches. And then you just seal it shut. And then there's actually a fan. It'll blow hot air from underneath and out the front. So it does actually help keep the floor from getting too drafty. I do like this, but like I said, if it gets below 35, it can get pretty cold. The heat just can't make it to the back. We installed this stone wall to kind of help absorb the heat. It doesn't really do much, but we have the overhead. When we're plugged into shore power or on generator power, we have the overhead heater and air conditioner that we'll use as well. So we do have backups on backups, which 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? And then the last one, this is where our water heater, the RV 550 goes. It's actually underneath this. It's a pretty decent sized box. Try to get in back here so you can see. I actually have my toilet paper holder hooked up to it, but we literally just L bracket down here. We just attached it via L bracket on either side. The PEX is underneath here. The copper propane attachment is underneath here, and this switch is so we can turn it on and off. But it's always on because, yeah, we like hot showers. Another cool thing is if you have long hose and you take a shower during the day, the sun will actually heat up the hose for us, so we don't have to even use the propane. We never had any issues with the company. Precision Temp is a really great company. It's all made in America as well, so definitely check them out if you're doing a tiny house or a bus or skoolie conversion, because they're really, really great. And if anybody has any questions on any of the appliances that we use, we have been using them for 2 years. All of these haven't really had any issues. I had a fuse blow on my refrigerator. We actually stuck, there was tin foil wrapped around some food, and we pushed it in the top and it rubbed against a wire, I guess, and it popped a fuse. So we just, went in the back and replaced the fuse. After some research, we kind of figured out what happened. So, so that was really the only thing. And so also, our fuses are in this is my solar and electrical utility room, but all my fuses are tied into here, and they're tied directly to my solar batteries. So like I have my fridge, it runs on a 30 amp fuse, my water pump, the water heater also, and the furnace. So there is a little fuse that it runs to be able to use certain things like the LCD display and such. I have ran my refrigerator on solar during the day. However, as soon as we stop getting direct sunlight, it does start draining my batteries. So it is possible for you to do, but we carry around 4 tanks of the barbecue, like backyard barbecue type tanks on our bus. We use 2 at a time. And typically we go through, if we have to use the furnace every night, if we're not using, shore power, we go through 2 tanks in about 2 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks. If we are not using the furnace and we're just boondocking and the fridge and the water heater and the stove is being used, those would be the main 3 that we're using, 2 tanks might last a month. So, and depending on where you're at, the cost can vary. We've paid anywhere from $40 for 2 tanks to only like $25 for 2 tanks. It just depends on the state and stuff. So do your research. Everybody has different reasons for putting different appliances in their bus. Ours was we did want to off-grid and we wanted to have the option to plug in or not. So whenever I'm plugged in, I have this plug for my refrigerator, and it just plugs in right there. And so then I can just alternate. But that's it for now. Let us know if you have any questions. Later.